Today we're taking a look back at the classic comedy Planes, Trains and Automobiles, so let's dive right in. Planes, Trains and Automobiles is a 1987 American comedy film directed by John Hughes, who also wrote the screenplay. The film stars Steve Martin as Neil Page, an uptight marketing executive, and John Candy as Del Griffith, a good-natured but overly talkative shower curtain ring salesman. When Neil's flight from New York City to Chicago gets diverted to Wichita, Kansas, because of a massive snowstorm, he meets the annoyingly jovial Del, and the two are forced to spend the night together in a motel. The next day they set off to find another way to get to Chicago, embarking on a series of misadventures that involve a cramped train ride, a broken-down bus, a cross-country trek in a beat-up rental car, and finally a dangerous semi-truck ride. Throughout their journey, Neil's desires for order and control are constantly thwarted by Del's more chaotic and freewheeling approach to life. But as they face a series of setbacks together, an unlikely bond forms between them. The film begins with Neil Page in New York City preparing for his Thanksgiving trip home to Chicago. He meticulously plans his journey, taking a cab to the airport and booking a first-class ticket to ensure a comfortable travel experience. However, once on the plane, he finds himself seated next to a chatty woman who reclines her seat and hogs the armrest, disrupting his carefully crafted plans. After several delays and a detour to O'Hare Airport, Neil learns that the flight to Chicago has been canceled due to a massive snowstorm. With Thanksgiving only hours away, he decides to drive home. He rents a car and drives out of the airport where he encounters heavy traffic. Eventually, the road becomes impassable, and Neil is forced to abandon his car and seek shelter in a nearby motel. At the same time, we meet Del Griffith, an enthusiastic traveling salesman who's also been stranded in Wichita due to the storm. Del, who's staying in the same motel as Neil, is a boisterous and talkative man who immediately gets under Neil's skin with his folksy wisdom and casual disregard for social norms. The two men are forced to share a small motel room, and they soon discover that they have nothing in common and their personalities clash. Neil is tightly wound and detail-oriented, while Del is laid back and prone to rambling monologues. Neil's attempts to get a few hours of sleep are constantly interrupted by Del's snoring and his late-night bathroom habits. In response to Del's perceived rudeness, Neil resorts to passive-aggressive measures such as turning up the motel room's heating to unbearable levels, hoping to make Del's sleep uncomfortable. However, Del remains unfazed and continues to snore loudly. Neil ends up spending the entire night awake. The following morning, Neil and Del set off to find another way to get to Chicago. Their first attempt involves taking a train, but they soon find that the journey will take nearly 30 hours and the lack of hygiene among the passengers is off-putting to Neil. To escape the unsanitary conditions, Neil and Del end up hitching a ride on the train's engine, enduring cramped quarters and intense heat. Eventually, the train breaks down, stranding them in a small town. In a subsequent scene, Neil and Del, desperate to get to Chicago, steal a taxi only for it to break down shortly thereafter. They then embark on a cross-country trek in a rental car. Despite the car's unreliable brakes, Del's insistence on driving it puts Neil in danger. Eventually, Del falls asleep at the wheel and crashes the car. The pair is forced to walk to the nearest gas station, where they flag down a passing truck driver named Spike, played by the legendary actor E.J. Carroll. Spike offers to drive them in his semi-truck, but warns them that the ride will be long and bumpy. Initially hesitant, Neil eventually agrees. As they continue their journey, Neil and Del's relationship evolves. They open up to each other, sharing personal stories and revealing their vulnerabilities. Spike, though taciturn, proves to be a reliable driver and helps the men navigate the treacherous roads in the storm. Meanwhile, Del's earlier boorish behavior is gradually revealed to have been motivated by his need to hide his tears and loneliness. Del admits that he has unseen his son in 4 years, because his wife left him and took their son with her. Neil, moved by Del's vulnerability, apologizes for his previous judgmental attitude and acknowledges Del's kindness. The three travelers finally reach Chicago in the early hours of Thanksgiving morning. As the city awakens, Neil steps out of the truck feeling rejuvenated. The once tightly wound man is now much more relaxed. He bids farewell to Del and Spike, expressing gratitude for their friendship and help. Before parting ways, Neil invites Del to join him for Thanksgiving dinner, but Del declines, saying he has plans to visit his son in Tulsa. Neil, touched by Del's earlier stories about his son, realizes that Del's gruff exterior masks a deep capacity for love and tenderness. After dropping Del off, Neil heads home for his own Thanksgiving celebration. At the airport, he phones his house to cancel his wife's plans to pick him up and instead asks that she come to the airport to meet him. Later, as Neil waits for his wife, he spots Del in the crowd. Realizing that Del had lied about going to Tulsa, Neil understands that Del never received his phone call. Neil rushes over to Del and invites him to join him and his family for Thanksgiving. Del, surprised and overjoyed, readily accepts the invitation. In the final scene, Neil's family warmly welcomes Del into their home. They sit down to a traditional Thanksgiving meal and give thanks for their blessings, including the newfound friendships forged on their journey. The film ends with a close-up of Del's tearful eyes, underscoring the emotional depth he has brought to the role. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is considered a quintessential holiday comedy. Its themes of perseverance, tolerance, and the transformative power of human connection continue to resonate with audiences today. The film was well received by critics upon its initial release and has since become a beloved classic. Its enduring popularity is a testament to the strength of its writing, directing, and acting. The film's screenplay is widely praised for its sharp wit and clever dialogue. John Hughes' ability to balance laugh-out-loud moments with genuinely touching scenes of human connection is a key aspect of the film's success. The film's direction by John Hughes is also noteworthy. His ability to create a seamless blend of comedy and drama, along with his knack for capturing the essence of ordinary people, is evident throughout the film. The standout performances of Steve Martin and John Candy are integral to the film's impact. Steve Martin's portrayal of the tightly wound Neil Page showcases his comedic genius. His ability to convey exasperation through subtle gestures and facial expressions is masterful. John Candy is equally brilliant as the boisterous Del Griffith. Candy brings a warmth and sincerity to the role that makes Del's flaws and eccentricities endearing. The supporting cast, including E.J. Carroll as Spike, the truck driver, adds depth and authenticity to the film. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is not just a comedy, but a profound exploration of human connection and empathy. The film reminds us that beneath superficial differences, we all share common hopes, fears, and dreams. Its message of tolerance and understanding is particularly relevant in today's world. The film's lasting impact is a testament to its timeless themes and the brilliance of its execution. It remains a holiday favorite for many, and a shining example of what can be achieved when talented actors, writers, and directors come together to tell a story that touches the heart and makes us laugh. So there you have it, a review of the classic comedy Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. What do you think of this film? Is it your holiday go-to? Let us know in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. We'd love to have you as part of our community. Thank you for watching. Take care and see you in the next one.